Now we have yet another very important gentleman on air with us, or online with us rather, Mr. Amir Paracha, who is the chairman and CEO of Unilever Pakistan Limited. Now, Mr. Paracha has a well-deserved reputation of someone who constantly tries to ensure that Unilever experiments with disruptive models and technologies whenever and wherever the need is actually felt, and epitomizes the essence of a great leader. I've heard so much about him, and I can't wait to hear him speak right here, right now. And he's going to be talking about how corporates can innovate, how they can change and stay up with the times, and what they're doing in terms of their progress and their innovation at Unilever Pakistan Limited. So without any further ado, let's have online with us Mr. Amir Paracha.
So, Assalamu alaikum, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and everyone anywhere in this world. First of all, thanks to the 021 Management Committee for inviting me to this disruptive session. Uh, Before we begin to address this question, can I ask this one? Can corporates shed the shackles of their size, history, and structure to innovate? And that's what today's subject is. Let's take a moment to address the, I would say, elephant in the room. When someone mentions innovation, the first name that jumps up in our minds are companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Alibaba, and closer to home it may be, say, Daraz in Kareem, a legacy company like Unilever, with our hundreds of years of heritage and footprint. They are considered the slow moving giants, while the lightning fast startups that are flat and fast, streamlining their innovation. It's just that while in today's world, innovation is practically synonymous with tech, but what is innovation? Staying relevant, efficient, and creating continued and better value. Too many people believe that innovation comes with a sort of a push button approach. Invest in the right tech, the right software, the right talent, and etc. Fact of the matter is that even with resources, innovating around a business model fixes little. With the business model itself becomes irrelevant. Uh, to me, innovation should be a continuous, very subtle, and a deeply embedded into the DNA of how an organization operates. It should not be a reactive, knee jerk to a market disruption, nor a quick replication. Just because a competitor did it, innovation should not come with an obsession that pushes a nerve every day or steps on one. And I would like to basically talk about one of the most brilliant examples of how large corporations like us has managed to innovate and keep innovating so consistently that people did not even register it was ever a traditional business. It's actually the platform that dominates our screen and hearts for young and old. You got it right. I'm referring towards Netflix. Uh, Netflix is seen as one of the trailblazers of the new age. Yet the company was started back in 1997. It's more than 2 decades old company as a traditional business of DVD sales and rental service by Reed Hastings. Much like Blockbuster with its inception had once changed the industry dynamics of DVD rental with this disruptive business model. It was the biggest video rental service, if you recall, of its time. But despite its size, footprint, and large and loyal consumer base, after the entry, it did not innovate its business model and continued the status quo. While its competitor that started out with a similar pathway challenged the status quo of not just the industry but its own business, constantly through an obsession with innovation. This brings me to my second part is if that's the case, how we will walk through the maze of innovation and why big corporations struggle. But the fact of the matter is, larger corporations tend to consider innovation a choice. And innovation may feel like a choice until it isn't. Consumer needs and businesses are both evolutionary, which is why innovation and strategic digital transformation is just smart, it is inevitable. As self proclaimed players of the big league floating in a bubble of our business, it is easy to assume that with our cash rich legacy, business that own everything ourselves, with our several internal obsession to do everything ourselves, we open up just as a favor, thinking we'll do it for you, consider it the fortune of our big business embrace bestowed on you. Actually, innovation and success are no longer the results of this capitalistic wealth. They are the product of the best ideas and optimized deployment. The biggest players are being outsmarted and left struggling by the small players with big ideas and their ability to navigate the complexity. We cannot afford to think that we, as a big corporate, will bring all the right answers or be so blindly cutthroat competitive that my win must mean your loss, or only when you lose, then I can win. No more. The world has transformed. Going fast are the days of the pipeline business. We are now in the platform economy, and anyone who's too proud, too rigid to embrace this will inevitably be left irrelevant. Let's take an extra piece of that humble pie and rewire the DNA of a very conventional capitalistic mindset. Winning on one's own or winning by defeating is no longer an option. We live together or we do not win at all. In Pakistan, the impact of the COVID-19 virus saw a leapfrogging in innovation, especially digitally enabled solutions. This time also saw the rise in logistics digitization as well as transformation in the conventional value chain of companies, even like ours, as we switch fast to efficient online ordering, tracking, and delivering through scaled up partnerships and collaborative models. So, how are we doing? And I'll now come to what Unilever has started doing, how we're trying to embrace. We're trying to embrace through kick-starting the shared economy model. My expertise is understanding the consumer mindset, which has been Unilever forte for the past 150 years or so, and my own personal area of expertise over my last 2 decades. In that context, I want to take the opportunity for Pakistan to capitalize on the shared economy through the point of view of big corporations. The shared economy is unlocking value for foreign investors. We have just heard Atif, and changing reality for the local entrepreneurs. How can it transform the economy? And what role can traditionally business play? To me, the sharing economy also offers unique employment opportunities for a country like ours, allowing talent to freelance and find not just locally but anywhere in the world. The need for access to large capital is being replaced by shared economy's collaborative model of talent, resource, and shared responsibilities, allowing a fast scale up and use at a lower cost with whilst preparing the right talent. We are a Pakistani company with a global heritage. We are operated by and for Pakistanis and have a reach that spreads across the entire country, and over 97% of Pakistani households. We see our role as being a large scale enabler, influencer, and say catalyst for the shared economy, which is the bedrock of the new market models. Uh, we are working to bring global expertise, investment, and using our platform for advocacy, through what we identify as our own model called the PCC model, which means the participate, collaborate, and create model, which we believe is a replicable and scalable model for all industry players to contribute towards Pakistan's digitization. For us, it is the next big equalizer and it changes the game and scale of our industries. Internally, as we work on our digital transformation agenda, we are evaluating its value addition to the shared economy and help us create new market models and transform the workforce we engage with. The participate part, let's come to the participate part, the perfect storm for corporations to game changing innovation. Unilever is a major partner with, say, the Raz Bag Gallery, Cheetah, say, Hammad, Grocers App, Beauty Hooked, Metro Online, and helping small to medium e-com players through retail and distribution-based partnerships in the new age e-commerce explosion. We are also bringing global investments, funding, and expertise of the Unilever global value chain to Pakistan. This is our play in helping the ecosystem expand through better access to VCs and investments. We are also using our global reach to call attention to the potential of the Pakistan market and its players. And thirdly, and most importantly, enabling global interest through support to the UN's CEOP partnership that is helping drive and test digital cashless models in conventional retail while mainstreaming access to credit and, say, capital via digital intervention in small businesses. That's the participate part. And now let's do the collaborate part, which is all about fitting the right pieces. Yeah, we have been investing in local partners. One of the companies called DataLift to digitize our entire, forecasting process for real-time and digitally driven updates. Unilever Pakistan is also working with a company called Oscars to digitize our entire ordering system with the retailers, whilst rescaling order booking through a tech to ensure that livelihoods are retained while efficient ordering system emerge. We are working to create digital payments between retailers and our 350 distributors with, say, Telenor to create a cashless payment network that allows financial inclusion and credit rating basis for small retailers with digitization making secure transactions worth millions and also increasing efficient use of man hours. And finally, coming to create. Yeah, this is all about marrying our historic scale with digital scalability. Sometimes all it takes is a 13-year-old boy and a big imagination. And yes, I'm referring towards our platform called Munchies, a platform created with a local partner, Venture Dive. The platform is disrupting the way Unilever and other FMCGs marketed and retail snacking while creating 200 new livelihoods and the base and others in the managing through the model. The idea interestingly emerged with the next IO hackathon and a 13-year-old boy boldly pitching the need for an instant snacking solution very much at this platform. Unilever since has invested in the startup and is working to scale up the venture. Similar marketplace models are emerging in the Unilever ecosystem as we create and empower the company and its partners through future-ready sharing economy-based retail systems. We worked on opening our mindsets to the possibility that ideas can come from anywhere, crowdsourced or from teams who have a penchant for problem solving and solution hacking. Towards the end, I would like to share our learnings as Unilever Pakistan to navigate through this journey or traversing through this journey. However, when it comes to innovation, our roadmap within the industry and Unilever must play to the strength of our country, economy, and business model. And I believe that innovation for, say, corporations in the near term is within embracing the shared digital economy model and finding your business space within this. But before we even lay the innovation roadmap, we need to break down what holds us back or has been a challenge as a traditional business stepping up innovating in Pakistan. As a large corporate, we are often shackled by a size, history, or orientation in tech, if not the challenge I laid out earlier. I break this down into two big, broad barriers. One is navigating the tech maze, and other is navigating the mindset maze. Starting with the tech maze. The first one is the legal framework. We are operating in a highly unregulated white space with complex and often absent legal framework. It is not always easy to scale fast while protecting ourselves from a legal standpoint. As a big corporates, the rules are often different, which does not always provide us as a level playing field. There's a nascent formal cooperation between tech players or tech integrated business to represent our challenges as a forum, which make things especially harder. The second bit is talent. A legacy company or a big corporate may seek the best talent, but may not be able to capture the appetite and adapt to the nature of a tech talent that comes with a different mindset and seeks very different and a much faster and exciting growth. The challenge is how do we retain this talent? And last, partnerships and tech premiums. Working with the right partners and being able to afford the premium for untested technology. There's a little to draw from in terms of existing data and without this knowledge, and not always knowing until one is all in it. If we have the right partners or if the technology will work out the way we want is an impossible challenge. And the second is navigating the mindset myth, which is the biggest challenge. I may seem overly critical of large corporations like ours, with what I said earlier and what I will say again. But our biggest issue comes from within ourselves and not always from external environment. Take one big bets. The first one. First, we need appetite for big bets. Method-based success, which we are known for, may be the safe space for us, but we must relearn what success if when innovating and digitizing. We may try a lot of things. Some will be spectacular success, and others may be a spectacular failures. We must learn to live with both to get even one. Move fast versus correctly. We must learn to shed the bureaucracy, the layers upon layers of stakeholders management, regionally, globally, locally, and move fast versus move accurately. We can make mistakes fast, fail fast, so we can learn fast and move faster. Resource control or orchestration. Drop the resource control versus resource orchestration. We do not need the 9 to 5s, the direct reporting lines, the large hierarchies. We need good work, creativity, and some in newness. Inward versus outward. We cannot do everything ourselves. That's a reality. Even with our 100 years of doing this, in fact, most because of our 100 years of doing this internally, we must open up. And externally, we must be curious and partner as we for sure do not have all the answers, especially the right one. Because we are taking on a new beast in the digital economy, uh, the shared economy. And I do not know if the future editions of this conference will be hosted by humanoids. But even then, business will operate with a purpose. And the purpose and all innovation, it will require will circle around human needs. So when we innovate, let's do it with a purpose, an interest of our consumers, and do it with the privilege of our learnings as big corporations and the curiosity of a startup. Thank you.